Hello, writers. Hello, second graders. Welcome to writing class with me, Miss Taylor. I'm glad you're here. So let's look at what we're going to do today. So here we have this is what we're going to do for writing. Well, this is what we'll need. We'll need a pencil, our new writing packet. Ooh, and our new writing packet. This is exciting. It looks like this. It is bright orange and it's called the second grade writing work packet number 3. This is kind of our third writing packet that we're working on. And this quarter, or definitely the next month, we'll be working on complete sentence answers. So this is our new writing packet. And there is some information here that is good to know. It says, do not work ahead. As part of our writing lessons, we're going to ask you to think about different things before you do the work. This will help with your learning and remembering. It's a good idea to really think before you do your work. It's prudent, isn't it? Also, we may end up skipping some parts or adding in different work from time to time. Please treat this packet like your math or reading workbook. Do neat, thoughtful work. Take your time. Do your work at a desk or a table. Use a pencil so you can erase mistakes if needed. Do not work ahead. If we skip something and you still want to do it for fun, that would be awesome. Keep the packet in a safe place where you can find it. Our writing work is going to be very different for quarter 3. Make sure you're watching the video lessons to learn what you need to do for these pages. Yes, this is a different type of writing lesson that we're going to be doing for quarter 3. So make sure you are watching the video. So thanks for coming. So we'll look at that in just a minute. If you don't have this, you could pause the video. In fact, maybe before you pause the video, you're going to get your writing packet and one other thing. And this is something that is kind of fun, is to get 2 different colored markers or crayons. We're going to do some underlining and some highlighting. So it's kind of fun if you can use 2 different colors. Now you can use highlighter, you can use marker. If you don't have these, you can use pencil, but it's just more fun to do a little highlighting. So if you would like to try to go and get some different colors, or I could use some these colored pens, markers, crayons, that would be kind of fun to do. So we're going to do 2 for each lesson. So 2 different colors. So right now you might want to pause the video and get your writing work packet and some colors, some colored markers or pencils, or whatever you'd like. All right. Some things we're going to keep in mind as we are doing our writing work. It says, remember to find the correct answers in the text. This is new, so we are going to be working on finding text evidence. And that's a fancy word for, it just means we're finding the answers in the text. So instead of just kind of making things up or thinking, I think this is what the answer is, we're actually going to find the evidence, the answers in the paragraphs in the text. We're going to remember to include the 5 parts of a complete sentence. Oh, remember, a sentence is complete when 5 simple rules. It meets. It has a subject, and a verb. It makes sense with every word. Add a capital letter, and an end mark too. Now we're finished. We've got all our 5 parts, and what's the rest of that? You can help me. All right, so 5 parts of a complete sentence. We're going to have our subject, verb. It's going to make complete sense, capital letter, and an end mark. And of course, we're going to write neatly and carefully. And our overall goal for a writing assignment is to write complete sentence answers using words from the question. And again, this is something very new for us, so don't worry. We will do lots of practice so you will feel confident that you can reach our writing goal. So let's take a look at our new writing packet. And it's this lovely bright orange color. We're going to open it up and turn to the very first page, which is page 2. So there's no page 1, so we're going to start right here at page 2. And you will notice in our writing packets that it says Monday. Whoops, Taylor's lights went out. It says Monday on it. And let's see, I am just going to pause this just 1 second. Alrighty, so you'll notice on page 2 it says Monday. And then on the left side, there is a paragraph. And on the right side, there are 2 questions. And then down here, this is where this story or this text, this paragraph comes from. It's from The Story of the World, Volume 2, The Middle Ages by Susan Wise Bauer. And then you'll notice on the next page, it says Tuesday. And then Tuesday, there are a couple of paragraphs, and there are 2 questions. And let's see what's next. And here we're back to Monday. So each day, each Monday and Tuesday, we will be doing 2 questions. And then on Thursday and Friday, we will work on grammar, which is our other packet. It's green. So today is Monday. It is January 25th, and we are going to work on learning about the English language. Here we go. Fingers ready. And you will also notice that this paragraph, it goes in a little bit, and that is called an indent. The paragraph is indented. It goes in about the space of a word, and that's one way we can tell that this is a paragraph. So a paragraph is a group of sentences that are all about one topic. The very first English was spoken by people who invaded England long ago, called Angles and Saxons. This Old English was very different from modern English. It even used different letters: man, house, sheep, dog, wood, field, work, drink, laughter, the, this, here, that. All of these English words and many more come from Old English. So Old English. Very interesting. Did you know our language was old? All right, so second graders, we have read the first paragraph, and we kind of know at our first time we've read over it, we kind of have an idea of what it's about. It's about our language and some words that came from this Old English. Now we have 2 questions over here to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the question, and then we're going to go back and see if we can find the answers in the text. And this is where our colors come in. So I'm going to use an orange color. You can use whichever color you'd like. And I'm going to underline, and if you want to highlight it, that means you go kind of right over the words. You could do that too, but I'm just going to highlight here. And I am going to see if I can find the text evidence, and then I'm going to use the same color to underline or highlight my answers. So the question is, who first spoke English? Who first spoke English? Let's read, see if you can find the text evidence, the answers in the text. The very first English was spoken by people who invaded England long ago, called Angles and Saxons. Did that tell us who first spoke English? Yeah, these people called Angles and Saxons. So what we're going to do is use that same color. So I used orange. So I'm going to use orange to underline the sentence where we found our answer. Right there. All right, and then I'm going to use a different color for question number 2. So I have this purple here. You can use whichever color you would like. And our question number 2 says, what are 2 English words that come from Old English? Well, let's keep reading. And I'm going to start here because I know this whole first sentence has to do with who first spoke English. And those were people called the Angles and Saxons. So I'm going to carry on right here. This Old English was very different from modern English. It even used different letters. Man, house, sheep, dog, wood, field, work, This is kind of like a list, isn't it? Drink, laughter, the, this, here, that. All of these English words and many more come from Old English. Ooh, this sentence talks about Old English. Yeah, so our question, what are two English words that come from Old English? And this whole list of words we could choose from. So this lists a whole bunch of words that come from the Old English. Let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and underline all of these, but we do not need to write all of these. How many are we going to write? 2, very nice. So I'm going to underline my text evidence. This is where I found the answer because they wanted to know what are two English words that come from Old English. Well, man, house, sheep, dog, all of these words and many more come from Old English. All right, now that we've found our text evidence, it's time to write some complete sentence answers. So when we are writing complete sentence answers here, one thing that we're going to try to do is use as many words from the question as we can in our answer. So if this question is who first spoke English, what we're going to do is we're going to take out the question word, and I'm just going to cross it off because in our complete sentence answer, we're not going to use that question word. But I wonder if I could use this word first spoke English to make a complete sentence answer. What do you think? I think I can use those. Let me look at my text evidence. The very first English was spoken by people who invaded England long ago, called Angles and Saxons. So remember, this is the name of the people who first spoke English. So I think here in this sentence, it would make sense to start by saying the name of the people. I'm going to use a capital letter because I know every sentence has a capital letter. And it looks like this is a proper noun, capital letters, the name of a group of people. And I'm going to try to write slowly and neatly, do my best writing. So we have the Angles and Saxons, and I'm kind of checking my spelling as I go. The Angles and Saxons first spoke English. Does that work? I think that makes sense. The Angles and Saxons first spoke English. And then, of course, I'm going to have a period. I like to circle my period. I like to circle my end mark just to make sure I really have it, and I'm being very aware that I always need an end mark. This is something a lot of times we forget, so that's why I like to circle it. So we have the Angles and Saxons first spoke English. Let's see. Do we have a subject? That's who the sentence is about. It's about Angles and Saxons. Do we have a verb? A doing word. The Angles and Saxons first spoke. Yeah, they first spoke English. So I have a verb. Does it make complete sense? I think so. Does it have a capital letter and an end mark too? Nice job. I think we're finished. If you want to give yourself a little check mark or a star, you could definitely do that. All right, now this one, we're going to start it together and then you are going to finish it on your own. It says, what are two English words that come from Old English? So again, we're going to try to write a complete sentence answer using as many words here from the question as we can. And one thing we can do, just like we did up here, we can cross out our question word because we're not going to use this question word in our answer. So there's what? Let's see. Are two English words that come from Old English? Let's see. How could we start our sentence? Should I start with the word are? Or is that kind of a question word? I think for now, I'm going to cross it out because it's sort of part of this what are, isn't it? Can I start with the word two? Two English words that come from Old English are, I can use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a capital letter, two, and I am being careful to spell my words correctly because they're right here on my paper. 2 English words that come from, a little quotation there, Old English are, and then here is where we look back on our text evidence and you can pick 2 words to say that are words that come from Old English. So we've got our capital letter there. 2 English words that come from Old English are blank and blank. And I will let you fill in the 2 words that you want to use. I've got my period here. Let's see. I want to check to make sure this makes complete sense. 2 English words that come from Old English are man and house, or I could say sheep and dog, or I could say field and work, any 2 of these. And that would make sense. I've got my capital letter, got my end mark, my subject, 2 English words, I've got my verb that come from Old English, and it makes sense. So that is how we write our complete sentence answers. And we make sure we're finding our evidence in the text. Our answers are in the text. So what you're going to do is finish up number 2, being really careful about your finding correct answers in the text, including the 5 parts of a complete sentence, writing neatly and carefully. And remember, our overall goal for writing is to write complete sentence answers using words from the question. And I think we've done a pretty nice job of that. All right, good work today, students. Tomorrow you will read a little bit more about Old English with, let's see, with Miss Lund tomorrow. And that will be for Tuesday. So for today, your job is to finish number 1 and number 2 in neat, careful handwriting, making sure you have all the parts of a sentence. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Goodbye, second graders.